put together some imagery. You know, somebody mentioned the art books and the art magazines. I think that when you talk about art, a friend of mine said, I said, what's a good art book? And he said, get one with lots of great pictures. Because he said it doesn't matter what they say, it's art. So look at the picture. You know? So I'm thinking, you know, with this thing here, this is, I hate doing laundry, I'm sure. No one truly loves doing laundry. But for some reason, I love hanging up clothes. I don't know why, but I love hanging up clothes. I love putting them on. I love taking them down. I like how they smell afterwards, and I like putting them on the thing and then looking at them. I don't know what this is going to lead to, but I know there's a piece of art in there somewhere. You know that Christo running fence, remember? And his curtains and stuff, and I think about that. And I want to make a piece of art. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe layers of clotheslines that will be different colored clothes. And you could do it in a park, and people could bring their wet laundry and hang it out to dry and ask them to divide it up according to color. You know, it could be something cool. And I don't know. I really don't know us, but I think there's art there someplace. And because art isn't in a ghetto, art is all around us. We don't go into this little space and now I'm living here in this little thing and now let me go out into the real world. No, that is the real world. And this is also the art. So I think about art when I do this, not like, oh, isn't everything artistic, but more like, well, why do I like that, you know? It's because there's some art in there, I think, but I don't know what, but maybe. One day, it was late at night. I was up by myself, and I'm walking by the dining room table, and there's a little key and a little safety pin. So I'm walking by, and I go, oh, wow, that looks cool, you know? What looks cool about it, you know? And I thought, oh, go back and take another look, and so I thought, oh, what's the Eiffel Tower? and so for me, it was like, it's one thing for me to see a pin and a key and think the Eiffel Tower, but the thing that is my responsibility, all of us, is our vision. I see it, but I must show it. And that's the only thing that we're asked to do. Everyone has a thought. The one thing you must do is show that thought. That's the only thing we've got to do. That's the one responsibility. And when that thought comes out, then people are going to see what's in your head. Because what's in your head is the only person in the world with what's in your head. So you must show that. Because when you look at different artists and stuff, have you ever given, this is a great thing to do, give a little sketchbook to somebody and say, draw my picture. Oh, I can't draw. Yeah, well, no, it's okay, you don't have to be able to draw. Just draw my picture. They'll draw a great picture. It'll look like you. I probably have 100 pictures of me by people who say they can't draw it. And everyone looks like me. And they're all different because it's everyone's vision. Before we were in Texas, before we came here, there was a bartender at the bar, and he had his name up on the bar, you know. Bartender is Raven. So I said, Raven, that's a great name. Is that your nickname? Is it your real name? Because it is my real name, but it's my last name. My name's James, but, you know, the management wanted me Raven. It was a queer bar, so it'll be more macho. You know? Okay. So okay, very good. And so I said, James Raven, huh? And yeah. And I said, oh, okay. So we left, and we came back maybe 2 weeks later, and I said, so James, you know, I took your name, and do you realize that the second letter of both is an A, and the fourth letter is both an E? He goes, huh. And I said, and you know, if you extend down that end, it kind of makes a V. And he goes, the guy rolls his eyes and he goes, oh, somebody's got a lot of time on their hands. I was like, I couldn't, I just was like, so, whatever. So, Ross and I, we moved down to Galveston, great town, and we went up to Houston very rarely, but we did a couple of times, and we rent a hotel room, you know, and so we're out traipsing about. And from this bar, not the same bar, but a different queer bar, this guy was shouting, John Ross, how are you? So, you know, go over, and it was James Raven. Go over and he goes, hey, look, and he rolls up his sleeve, and it was a tattoo. And I had written it just that wild, you know, just that like, scratch, no, let me show you this. And he took it, and so it was just that bad. Like, you know, I painted signs when I was a child. I can do perfect lettering, but he had it just like that, and I thought, I would have done it nice, bud. And part of the main thing, of course, I was so like, ooh, you drew on yourself permanently. But part of it was that I learned, don't listen to people. what they tell you, because even they don't know. This guy lived his whole life with his name that cool and had no idea. So I can't listen to him when he says whatever, you know, because it's up to me to know, hey, I'm showing you something. You like it, you don't like it. It's 2,000ths of a thickness mylar. And this is my workspace. Ross is very generous to me to take over the dining room table anytime I need to, and he hardly says a thing. Then I tested them outdoors. This is you know, that stand that holds an umbrella. Then I took out the umbrella, then I put in a thin metal tube, and then was able to suspend them tall enough so that they could move around. And then you can test them in the wind, test them for toughness, and then install them at the gallery. This is his place on Krog Street. And the thing that was working for me with this is that you have each one of these figures, 2,000ths of an inch thick. There's 45 figures in this one exhibit. You could stack them one on top of the other. It would make less than 1/100th of an inch thickness. You could take each piece and cut it and stack it. It would make less than a cubic inch, and yet you're occupying an entire gallery with nothing. This is the gay flag in San Francisco. It's one of the most beautiful things. Again, it's not necessarily because it's queer, which is good enough. It's the color spectrum. The color spectrum that's flying. And it has this, you know, the color spectrum is a very, very beautiful thing to me. Super simple. You see it all the time. Yet, when you see a ripple like that, for me it comes very alive. So, I try to put it into other things. These are Jello shots I made for Gay Pride. Part of the deal is that look how Jello blends the colors. Again, you're taking art from this little rarefied space, you're infusing it into things that you use all the time. A Jello shot's great no matter what. But when you make it, this rainbow flag, you're doing something where I love looking at these things. And I brought them with us to the Pride in Piedmont Park. When you offered them to people, in the daylight, in the sunlight, they just were like these glimmering jewels, you know. And look at this blend of colors. It's like watercolor, you know. I did this double because I wanted to evoke, you know, that Liza Minnelli picture that's in MoMA. That same sort of thing that he did with her. And I didn't want him to have that stupid smirk that he always had, you know. You know, I met him once, and a friend and I had created a gift. And so, give it to Warhol. Okay, so, you know, I go knock on the factory door, you know, and it's Christmas Eve, and it's about 4:30, getting dark and stuff, and he answers the door. I think I'm going to leave it on the thing, so I say, Andy Warhol, Morse, my friend and I, we made you a gift, you know, and he goes, thank you. So I said, oh, well, you know, it's just wanted to give you the gift, you know, that's all, so, you know, I'll let you go, and he goes, thank you. So I get to the door, and just as I get to the door, I turn and I said, your art is great. And he goes, thank you. So I've always loved the guy and stuff. So when I did this thing, I wanted to, like you can see, this is like a cracker box, you know, and I wanted to mix these things very flat, very crazy dimensional, very crazy colors.
How do you get the likeness? Do you copy the likeness, or do you have a...
No, ma'am. You draw with the paper.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So that you put down a thing and it works, great. And if it doesn't work, you cover it up. It does, you rip it off. You change it constantly, because it's like when you sketch that you would erase, but you don't erase, and you just simply peel it off, cover it up. This is so many layers. It's layers, because I don't get it right quite often.
That's what I wondered.